Hi. I realise in the current climate that we're in that a lot of people are struggling for one reason or another. Everyone's lives have been turned upside down. And I think we kind of almost have like three main brackets of probably you've got your key health workers who are probably working all the hours you can in a highly stressful situation, a highly dangerous situation in a lot of cases. And that's obviously got its own set of issues, stresses. We've then got people who are perhaps still working but working from home. So their whole way of working, everything that they do, the way they do things has completely changed. And again, what they're doing may have massively increased in workload, massively decreased in workload. You may have children at home that you're also trying to school at the same time as getting your job done. We then have a sort of a third bracket of people who have perhaps lost all their work and are suddenly finding themselves in a situation where their workplace has closed, their business for the moment is on hold, and we suddenly have nothing to be doing. All three have their own set of stress issues, crisis situations for everybody. So whichever one of the three brackets you fall into, they're all equally as difficult, no matter how this has affected your life. So I think we are all struggling a little bit mentally, probably. It's 2 weeks into lockdown now. We've got another week to go at least. So I just kind of wanted to say a few things that hopefully might change your thinking a little bit, maybe give you a little bit of positivity for the day, and help you to kind of start working through it mentally a little bit more. And I think one of the first things that I wanted to say is that something that really resonated with me when I first learned this, and I think you can take this with you throughout life, in anything that's difficult in your life, any difficult times, any times that you're struggling with, that's okay. You know, we're human beings and life is always going to be 50-50, good times and bad times, okay? People sort of strive to have a life that is happy 100% of the time, okay? That's not realistic. That's never going to happen. There's always going to be things that happen that are negative, whether it's on a big scale or a small scale. Life isn't good 100% of the time, and it never will be. So striving for that, you're setting yourself up to fail, okay? And I think if you realize that and accept that and know that half your life is going to be pretty crappy at times, and if we know that and we can begin to accept that, we can deal with that so much better. And actually, the bad times actually give us the happy times. If life was 100% perfect, 100% happy all the time, would we even know what happiness is? Because we've got nothing to compare it against. We've got no comparison of what's not perfect, what's not amazing. So in a strange way, we kind of need the bad to make us stronger, to make us better, and to really truly value the good times and when we are happy and when good people are in our lives and when things are going well. And without the bad, you can't have the good. And so understanding that and accepting and expecting half of your life to not be so great all the time can help you sort of mentally deal with that a little bit. And I think actually coming to terms with that and accepting that can be the first stepping stone to actually dealing with negative times in your life a little bit better. So it's something that I think it's worth a little thought on. Go away, have a think about it, and it certainly helps my mindset. And I know that was a big lesson for me to learn, and a way of kind of dealing with things of like, you know what, this is just one of the bad times that you need to get through, and you need these so that I can appreciate the good. So a little bit of food for thought on that front. So what else can we say? What can we do to think of this time is a positive? I mean, there are real positives that could come out of this. If you think of all the ways that the world could potentially change from this, it's actually a little bit exciting in some ways. The way we are now using technology of doing everything online in terms of schooling and education, our education system has been pretty much the same classroom-based system for 100 years. It's not changed. All of a sudden, things are becoming a lot more online and things. Perhaps new ways of educating people will go forward with this and carry on with this. The fact that millions of companies are now having to do meetings via Zoom, via online technology, online meetings, maybe they're realizing you don't have to send half of your employees across the world 10,000 times a year. it can all be done this way, and therefore reduce our carbon footprint in terms of business travel massively. Things like, talking of carbon footprint, the air, the waters, everything's getting clearer. We are actually reducing pollution in the air in this. And maybe there's something to be learned from that as well, that we can take forward from this. And I think as well, generally, people have become really much more grateful of what we do have and what we take for granted. At the end of the day, we've still got a roof over our heads, we've still got food, we've still got loved ones around us, we've still got a lot. And if you look at the world around us, it's beautiful, and we're really respecting that now, and I think respecting each other a lot more. It would be nice to think the world can go forward and be a much less materialistic place, much less celebrity based, and much more respect for your everyday people and your neighbours and your community around you. And just have a little bit more gratitude for everything that we really do have in our life. I know a lot of people as well have said they've saved money, they've saved loads of money, and maybe it's going to teach us that we don't need to be spending loads of money on stupid designer things and things that we just clutter everywhere. Do we really need it? No, we don't. And I think this is going to really change people's attitude, people's opinion on things, and I think business-wise, how we do things in the world. It could actually go forward in a much more positive way. So this could be a massive learning curve for the planet, and it could be quite an exciting time, and it could be quite a nice way to view it like that as well. So that aside, what else can you do right now if you're in a situation where you're in isolation and you're bored, struggling, mentally not dealing very well? It's a perfect time for people to be either just staying in bed all day, not barely getting out of their pajamas, staying on the sofa. The worst thing you can do is be watching the news all day, looking at social media all day. These things are only going to blow up your stress, your anxiety, your fear of the situation. Switch all of it off. Switch it off. You don't need to be looking at it all the day. Forget it. Turn your brain off. Let it have a break, okay? Use this time for really, really positive things. Use this time for you, okay? Look at your mind, explore your mind. There's so much online. You can listen to podcasts, you can do meditation, you can do mindfulness. There's so much you can do that you can really investigate your mind, calm your mind, learn things. There's so much you can learn. And even having those few hours a day, listening to podcasts or whatever you're going to do, it takes your mind away from what's going on in the world, okay? You're going to disappear into a little world of positivity, and you will feel so refreshed from that. Use your walk time as well. We're allowed to go out, and the sky, the weather, it's beautiful. Go for a walk somewhere. Get that fresh air, the vitamin D, getting your heart rate up a little bit. You will feel a million times more positive if you do that. Even listen to a podcast while you're going for your walk. I can't tell you how much that is going to elevate your mood of thinking, you know what, actually, the world's still turning, it's still out there. And actually, we're only here to keep us safe. That's the only thing. Think of it, that we're being protected. We have all these scientists, all these very clever people that are all working on a solution for this. And I have complete faith in the human race that we will find a solution for this. We will come out the other side of it. And at the moment, we're just being looked after, and we're being comforted and kept very, very safe in our little worlds. And it's a little pause in life and a chance to use it for a really good thing. If you're not someone as well who's been particularly familiar with working out, with doing much exercise, another great time to start doing that. Go out for the walks every day. Go for a half an hour walk. Do a few little home workouts. There's Pilates, there's yoga, there's a million things online. Use this time to do that. I can't tell you how much, again, that is going to elevate your mood of setting the happy endorphins off, feeling a bit fitter. Also, another thing to do is look at your future. Use this as a pause in life. Look at where you are in life. Is this where you want to be? Is this what you want to be doing? Where do you want to be in a year's time, in 5 years' time? Start making lists, start planning. If you're not, figure out what it is you want to do and use this time. Do a course, read some books, do some research, start writing, write a diary, anything. There's so much you can do, and all of this will activate your brain into positive thinking. So you're not thinking about the stresses of what's going on and sitting there just panicking. You're actually really being productive, positive, live in the now, live for today. Don't worry about what's going to happen next week or tomorrow. We don't know. Nobody knows, literally. So don't stress about something we don't know about. Do control what you can control. And I say this so often in terms of people with diets and things like that. So many times I hear people say, oh, I fell off the diet, and then a whole load of excuses come out. I had a stressful week at work. The kids stressed me out. This stressed me out. That happened. That happened. And I always say to them, do you know what? Life happens, and crap things, we all have a crap day. Sometimes life does happen, absolutely. But don't use that as an excuse to fall off the wagon on the one thing you can control. So all of these other things, work, bosses, kids, you can't really control that. You know, sometimes there's things in life we cannot control. Life isn't a ball of sparkly glitter all the time. But the one thing you can control is what you put in your mouth. Whether you exercise, whether you get up and show up today, whether you put makeup on, whether you get dressed, those are the things we can control. So really focus on them. Otherwise, what's going to happen? You've had a really shit day, you've come home, you've gorged on loads of food, and then what? You just feel even more shit. If you'd actually come home and gone for a workout and had a really healthy meal, you'd actually have felt a lot better and felt like you've actually done something really positive for yourself, and the bad things will have taken the edge off just a little bit. So it would be so nice to come out at the end of this. Perhaps you might have got a whole new plan of what you want to do with the rest of the year, or a change of career. Maybe you've learnt something. Maybe you've lost a few pounds and are in the best shape you've been in. Maybe you've read up on some things or learnt Spanish or whatever you might have done. Let's see if you can actually today sit down and write a couple of things down that you want to have achieved by the end of this, and start doing them, getting that mind working on positive things and not just stressing about the negatives of what you can't do, what you're struggling with. Plan your time and appreciate the fact that we're spending more time with close loved ones. Maybe we've got more time to call people we don't call so often and catch up with people. So really use this time, switch off from the world outside, just switch off. Focus on you, focus on what you want to do, what makes you happy, and focus on the people closest to you. And let's just be a little bit excited about where this could take the world for the future, and how the positive things that it might change and might affect the world and the planet in a positive way. And let's think positively about how it could have changed you, how you might now have the time that you really needed to work on yourself mentally, physically. As I say, read things, get out for those walks, get loads of exercise, use every day as you time. This can be your complete therapy to figure your life out, find you, find yourself, be super selfish and really enjoy that. And so I hope that a little bit of that has kind of given you some food for thought, things to think about. If there's anything else that I can help you with, then please feel free to get in touch. There'll be loads of extra bits, a little bit more on this going out in sort of the Carry Active members next week as well, which you can sign up to if you want to. But yeah, I really hope that this has kind of given you a little bit of positivity and a little bit of mental help and mental stimulation for today. Thanks for listening. Bye.